Hi, my name is Vincent Everts. We're here at CIO Day TV. CIO Day TV. CIO Day TV.
Together.
In the Beurs van Bijlage, and there's about 1,000 CIOs here. And I'm having a conversation with Chris Parker, the CIO, the interim CIO of ABN AMRO Lease Company. Congratulations. I hope you just got your shares and that they went to the stock exchange, and I'm sure you got a fantastic bonus out of it.
Fantastic deal. No, we don't do bonuses in banking anymore.
Yeah, we don't do bonuses anymore. Hey, I talked to you. Let's first talk about this ABN AMRO CIO role. Mm-hmm. You are the interim CIO, right, of ABN AMRO.
Yep.
And you say that the lease division is completely separated, is very separated from the bank business. How does that work in terms of governance? Doesn't ABN AMRO want to control every part of the business, especially also every part of the ICT business?
Not so far. I've been there for 3 months now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of interaction with the CISO function, the security, because of course they need to make sure that's all sorted out.
Yeah.
But as far as applications and infrastructure, it's been very, very hands-off.
Just completely separate.
Completely separate.
Which makes it about 2 times or 3 times as cheap.
It is, I believe, much cheaper, but we'll see. That you could debate that. I think my observation with the bank is they're doing retail banking, which is a huge machine.
Yeah.
And what we're able to do is actually simplify things really for a lease product. So in a lot of ways, it's even a different business. So it makes sense.
Well, I just I went to Logistica. Logistica is an exhibition which is about logistics. And 2 weeks ago, and I met a couple of guys from CIO, from ABN AMRO Lease. And they were the biggest thing. They were going like all these big, huge trucks and expensive things. What is the residual value?
Yeah.
And they were leasing so many different things. It was unbelievable the variations in the tools.
Yeah.
So
basically, if it's tangible,
how do you support that?
Well, it's from an IT perspective. There's different types of products that you can support, but it really doesn't matter really what the asset is, because the residual value, that's sort of an input that the risk team comes up with based on their research and their grids, and we just take it in. So whether it's a plane, train, automobile, 3D printer, whatever, from an IT perspective, we don't really care. It's just a product that comes through.
And the application you manage, is that written in-house, or is that standard packages, or how is the IT environment?
The mid and back office is SAP. SAP for Lease, and that's when my time with LeasePlan, we always also used it there. So and that works, so it's solid. On the front, there's a legacy which is in Cold Fusion, which is maybe not the most recent language. Mm-hmm. And at the moment,
Cold Fusion, beautiful.
Yeah, it's gorgeous stuff.
Yeah.
And at the moment, they're testing a front-end portal technology on BlueRick, which is a sort of a case management BPM layer.
BlueRick.
BlueRick. It's a Dutch player in the maybe like Pegasystems sort of thing. And so the dream is, if you have a flexible business rules driven front end, this is always the dream, to drive, say, new products and the straight through processing into the SAP, then life is good.
Okay.
So still to be proven.
And what is the biggest challenge? Maybe one thing is how you do it with these programs in the background, but what is the challenge to come up, with support for mobile devices or tablets, so that you can get a quotation out there much quicker, that people can be more mobile, that the salespeople can be more intelligent, or what is the change of the business, or is everything just on desktops and the same way of working?
Well, I think the change of the business is maybe mobile, not really, but I think where the deals originate.
Really not no mobile.
No, we don't do mobile.
No?
You solve that problem by just having a policy, no mobile, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. So,
right.
Okay. The power of the CIO, we can do these things.
Yeah.
No. Where the deals originate, because a lot of the deals originate from the bank, so their branch, the account managers there, and also brokers and vendors, and right now it's relatively low actual online, so direct customers. Mm-hmm. I would guess that would grow over time, but I guess the challenge is how can you present, say, that single version of the truth to the banking channel, to the broker channel, to the vendor channel, to the actual direct customer channel over mobile But first thing we have to do is get it organized so we can actually have control of that basic data and then present it out.
Okay. So how long are you going to stay there?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, because there's a lot of what I really like about Lease is it's a solid company. They have ambition, so the business has ambition. the IT people I work with, two
And
of
you
which
know,
are here.
and you know the business.
I know
and
the
you know
business.
the business.
And,
We know each other from LeasePlan,
LeasePlan.
right? I mean, a teeny
Where
little
you
company with
little company, and you
yeah.
came and inspired us a couple years back. So no, but with Lease, the IT people, good people, and they want to improve, and so that's 95% of the job.
Yeah.
And now let's
so
get it
that's
done. So
Okay, but Chris is doing much more than only CIO of ABN Lease. You've been here now for the 9th time, but apart from being a very active member in the community, you also have your own conference, right? And it's called Sex in the City. It's
Sex in the City.
Sex in the City, spelled CEX. And what does sex with CEX mean?
customer experience.
Customer experience.
Yeah, so
yeah.
we
and
call
that's
it- we call
6 years ago you started with Sex in the City.
Yeah.
Why was customer
Yeah, we just-
experience on
we-
your mind?
We just had the 5th one, so it's we started the idea 6 years ago. Customer experience is on my mind. What I noticed as a CIO, the question is always, what do you invest in?
Yeah.
And a lot of times people say, oh,
Not in mobile. Not in mobile. No.
well, that's a
Pretty
decision
clear.
not to. So
yeah. Not in mobile. Yeah.
Well, it's a great case that. So if a business can really understand its customer experience design, and from the business perspective on what sort of brand position and what its customers need to be satisfied, if the decision through that process is they don't really need mobile, well, then we don't have to invest in mobile. And so from the role of the CIO, I think that the power of customer experience design
Yeah.
is the business can make the decisions on what must we win, because this is what our brand, what we want to portray to the outside world. What must we win, because if we don't, the customers are going to get pissed off and they're going to leave. And everything else we can say, well, let's de-invest in that. Compared to what I typically see in organizations, that you do a customer satisfaction survey and you do a little graph, and there's something that you don't do good at.
Yeah.
and
There's
all-
a lot of
all the
value.
investment
There's a lot of
goes there
value
to push
in.
that up.
There's a lot of value in deciding not to do something.
Exactly.
To make
Exactly.
simplify your life.
Yeah.
Well, I just never met a CIO who says we're not going to do anything in mobile in the next couple of years because it's not necessary for our business. I just think you're very gutsy. Anyway, so this whole Sex in the City, sex was on your mind. CX.
It's always on-
a
always
couple
on
of
my
years.
mind.
Always customer experience. And you have a conference about it. It was in the Spoorweg Museum last month or something.
Yeah,
2 months ago?
every October we have it, and
Yeah.
it's we invite what we call customer experience leaders, and that's a loosely defined definition of if you are meaningfully involved in the customer experience of your company. And what we do is we get a number of partners, knowledge-based company, CX company, Oracle, for example, partners, Cuba, partnering for the last event. And it's through those partners that we get the invitations and we organize the speakers. So it's really, I call it even a co-created event. So there's not an event company behind it. High energy, people seem to love it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hard work. So just
Is it online? Are the presentations online? I saw a video from you on being online, but I mean, I didn't see the presentations online.
yeah, there's a sexevents.com page that has some information and links to the presentations and things. So it's out there. Because of the budget, we don't do all these fancy things like this with
Extremely fancy.
So,
We're so fancy.
So we'll have to maybe
yeah.
consider that for the next time. But so far, even though I have a background in film production,
I would say,
I
yeah.
would love to bring video into it. But
Yeah.
so far, we were focusing really just on the experience. No, so it's good stuff. And,
Yeah.
and the day
So
bef-
6
yeah.
years ago, that was new. I mean, now it's more everybody's talking about
Yeah.
it, but 6 years ago it was quite
Which
new.
is, I guess we
And
did
you-
our job. We
Yeah?
succeeded in getting it activated in the
Well,
market.
I think
so we'll,
you did a fantastic job, but I guess just that the customer slowly becomes more important
Yes.
for the CIO. I mean, which wasn't the case always. Every
No.
time humans would adapt to the systems, and now we're going that the systems are going to adapt to the humans. Oh my God, what a fantastic, inspirational, nice things to do. But
still the dream.
yeah, so if you compare it 5 years ago and now, what kind of talks do you have at Sex in the City?
Well, I think right now it's getting more and more, I guess, cross-functional and integrated. Because if you talk back then, there was a little bit like we were having with CIO Day of what is the CIO,
Yeah.
and back then it was, should we have a customer experience officer and that type of stuff. And then it went through a little bit through the psychological. Say 2-3 years ago, it was more the psychology behind it, and they were doing that. And now it's really getting to more practical execution stuff. Also, okay, so if you've clarified your organizational ambition for customer experience design, where does it fit in your organization? You start understanding the psychologies and the philosophies behind it, and then what do you actually do? And that was. So it's been a nice
Yeah, so
sort of
that would
progression.
take us another half an hour to basically
Yeah.
discuss it.
Yeah,
Last
it's-
subject, you said it already, you're totally into video and you're into movie making, filmmaking. What kind of, what is that what does that third part of your personality do? What kind of movies do you make?
Well, they're all sort of connected to the same core personality. Has to do with change. So a movie is basically a project, a business case, and I think very investment business case. Has to do with technology. We can make feature films for theatrical release very inexpensively now because of technology. It's all digital, et cetera,
Yeah,
et cetera.
4K, everything. It's
Boom,
really,
it's all there. And
yeah. But the people are still, the actors are still expensive, but they're easier to find. But I mean, how much does a feature? What kind of budget do you talk about if you make a feature film movie?
well, our first film, if you had added everything up as real money, it was
Yeah.
about 650,000. But most of that we got in sponsorships, and we had to do crowdfunding and all that kind of stuff. So cash out.
It's a movie. What's the title? And what's the subject?
The Right Juice.
Okay.
It's a buddy film, dramatic comedy about a banker who goes bankrupt, moves to the Algarve to make his millions growing oranges. It's a comedy, and yeah, see, yeah, and
A banker going broke. Yeah, we already love it.
it's all,
Yeah,
it's, al-
yeah, that's a
it's
good
already
start.
fantasy.
That's a good start.
It's already
yeah.
fantasy.
It's already
yeah.
start, yeah.
No, and the second one we made, we used what we like to say is sort of lean thinking, lean startup principles. Instead of taking 3 years, 3 months, shooting over say 6 weeks into 1 week,
Okay.
and instead of doing the whole script and doing everything up front, we had 3 weeks of preparation. So you had concepting, some character development. The writer was on site for that week of shooting,
Okay,
and you sort of let the story unravel. So we originally thought it was going to be a thriller, but it turned out to be more of a psychological drama, which is similar but different. Time box it 2 months for post production, and then we're done.
Okay.
And then that's called Second Honeymoon, and that premiered at the Flyway Festival in the States on the 24th. The director won an Innovation Award
24th
of October.
October. And it was lean movie making.
It's
Yeah.
lean movie making.
Lean movie making. Okay.
Wha-
Agile.
yeah.
Being agile.
Yeah.
Movie making, and the same principles apply. You try
Absolutely.
to compress the whole time thing, integrate everything, and that was an
Yeah.
Innovation Award. So
Yeah. So
the movies are not online, I guess.
not yet.
Not yet.
Not
okay.
yet.
So, but I mean,
Coming
that's
soon.
And what's the theme? What's the storyline of the second movie?
Of Second Honeymoon, the Second Honeymoon is about a lady who gets married, goes on her honeymoon to the Algarve, and her husband is a bit behaving oddly, and she starts seeing some clues that maybe not everything is as it should be.
And it unravels from
And it
there.
unravels from there.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Chris. Always fun to see you.
Great to see you.
This is Chris Parker at CIO Day TV, made possible by Cynthia and by Verizon. We'll be back in about 5 minutes with the next interviewing, and stay watching here. Thank you very much for joining us.
Great.
Chris, appreciate it.
Thank you.